Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Before we get on with this video, let me just mention the obvious. I got my hair cut. I'm actually filming this the day that I got my hair cut, so sorry if it looks a little weird. I'm getting used to having to style it. I'm wanting it short for the rest of the summer into the fall, so yeah, there's that. So today's video is going to be about the 3 meals that I have the most often. I like to cook a lot. I like making food, I like eating food, and these are 3 recipes that I've kind of come up with or I've taken from other recipes and just made them more of my own, and I'm going to show you how I make them. I've got breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I'll just hop right on into it and let you guys see for yourself. Okay, for breakfast you're going to need English muffins, some cheese, ham, and an egg. This is kind of my own take on a McDonald's McMuffin, but you know, a little bit different. I also have this really tiny spatula that I love to use for this because I use a very tiny pan. So first things first, you're just going to want to put a little bit of oil in your tiny pan and spread that around, and then get ready to put a slice of ham in. Once I put the ham in, I put this like splatter guard or whatever on top of it. Because of the oil in there, it will splatter. And you're going to want the temperature to be, I put it around 8, so it's around a high temperature. Because the English muffins are frozen, I'm putting them in the microwave for around 20 seconds just to let them defrost. So once the muffin is defrosted, I put it in the toaster oven and start letting it toast. Now it's time to crack the egg, and I put some salt and pepper in it as well. I don't let the English muffins toast for too long, so once they're a little bit crispy, I take the top out and put some cheese on the bottom half of the English muffin and let that get nice and bubbly. Once your ham's popping like this, it's probably time for you to turn it over, and you're going to want to turn the heat down just a smidge to get it ready for the other side of the ham. Once you've flipped your ham, it doesn't need to be on the other side for that long because the pan's still pretty hot. And this is what your muffin should look like when the cheese is all done and it's ready to be pulled out of the toaster. So here I'm just taking the ham out of the pan and putting it onto a paper towel to pat off most of the grease from the pan. Now to prepare for your egg, you want to turn the heat down even more so that the egg doesn't fry immediately. So what I'm doing here is I'm just wiping up all of the grease from the ham on the pan, and I'm going to put some cooking spray on it instead. What I found is that if I leave the grease in the pan and put the egg on, the egg will be more likely to stick to the pan than if I just coat it with cooking spray. Now what you're going to do is put the egg on the pan and just let it sit and cook for a couple minutes until it's nice and white and able to be flipped over. Once you flip the egg over, it doesn't need a lot of time to cook, especially if you want more of a runny yolk like I do. So I would just leave it on the burner for around 30 seconds and then take it off. Once the egg's done, you just take it out of the pan and put on the rest of your sandwich and you're done. This recipe probably only takes me around 10, maybe 15 minutes to make every morning, so it's not that much. It's definitely more than a bowl of cereal, but it isn't that bad. And that's how I make my homemade McDonald's McMuffin breakfast sandwich. Here's the final product. Moving on to lunch, we're going to be making a 7-layered salad. Basically, you could make any kind of salad you want, you just want it to have a lot of layers so you're getting a lot of different things in the salad. We use cucumbers, carrots, corn, cheese, onions, eggs, and bacon in addition to the lettuce, which we use iceberg, and that's our 7 layers. First things first, you're going to want to make hard-boiled eggs, so put your eggs into a pot of water and let them come to a boil. The length of this recipe depends on the eggs, usually, so it takes probably around half an hour to make this specific recipe because of how long it takes to boil the eggs. So here I'm just cutting up the iceberg lettuce into small pieces, and then I'm going to be washing the lettuce. Once the eggs reach a boil, you want to turn the burner off and just have them sit in the hot water for around 15 minutes. So here you're going to start cutting up your vegetables. I'm cutting cucumbers into the circles and then into 4 pieces, and then you're just going to spread them out into a layer over top the iceberg lettuce. And then we're going to do the same thing with carrots, cut them up and put them into a layer over top of the cucumbers. If you're using frozen corn like I am, you're going to want to let this defrost a little bit. I use around half a bag of white and yellow corn, and I just let it defrost in a strainer. Now we're going to put on some onions. I like to put a nice layer of onions on because I like them very much. Once it's been 15 minutes, you can take the eggs off of the stove and let them sit in some cold water in the sink. While we're letting the eggs sit, I'm going to go ahead and piece apart the bacon into sizable pieces. You can make them smaller or you can make them bigger if you want, and I'm just peeling off some excess fat that I don't want in the salad. So to take the shells off the eggs, I decided to try this trick that I've seen online where you put the egg in a container of cold water and just shake it around, and this helps the shell to loosen around the egg and makes it easier to peel off, and I found that it actually did work for me. Now I'm just going to cut the egg into slices, around 5 per egg, and then layer them on top of the bacon in the salad. After the eggs, I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle my corn on top, making a nice layer of that over the eggs. And after the corn, I'm going to sprinkle on the cheese, making a really nice layer of that, and then you're all done. Here you can clearly see all of the layers. They're not all big layers, but you can definitely see that there are 7 layers of items in this salad. I would recommend putting it into the fridge for at least an hour before you actually eat it. When I do make myself a bowl of salad, I usually use this Olive Garden Italian dressing and these Rothbury Farms Texas Toast croutons. The reason the croutons aren't a layer on their own is because my mom doesn't like them, so I just add them at the end to my own personal bowl of salad. And here's the final product. This takes a while to make at first, but you'll have the salad for a couple days afterwards, so it makes a really quick lunch for the days after you've made it. Moving on to dinner, I usually make this garlic Parmesan pasta, which you're going to need minced garlic, onions, black pepper, butter, lemon juice, Parmesan cheese, the skillet, a pot of water, and your favorite choice of pasta. I choose bow ties. So first you set the water to boil in the pan, and then I'm going to take a tablespoon of butter and start melting that in the skillet. And then I'm going to take I usually use around a full teaspoon of garlic because I like garlic, but you could definitely use less. The original recipe just calls for about a half a teaspoon. Next you're going to want to add in your onions. I'd say you add around a half a cup of onions. I probably do more than this because, again, I just like how onions and garlic taste, and I'll add more than necessary for them. Now you just want to let the butter melt and the onions and the garlic to saute in it a little bit before adding the lemon juice and black pepper. When the onions are bubbling like this, I say it's time to add the lemon juice. I use a tablespoon of lemon juice with a little bit added. You could use less, you could use more. This recipe is really just about personal tastes. And then I put in a little bit of black pepper. You're going to be letting the onions sit for quite a while and simmer until they get to around a golden brown color. And once the water boils, you're going to want to put your pasta in. I usually use around a cup of pasta. This is around what you want your onions and garlic to look like. You don't want them to get too burned, but you want them to still have a nice golden brownness to them. And you're also going to want to turn the heat down as low as possible to keep them from burning while you're waiting for your pasta to cook. Once your pasta is done, you're going to want to let it strain and just sit in the strainer for a couple minutes to cool down a bit. As you can see, I've let my onions and garlic get a little bit more brown than what they were before. They're still not burned, but they're a little more brown, and there's still enough oil in the pan that I'm going to be able to cook the pasta in. Once you put the pasta in, you want it to sit in the pan a little bit. I'd say have the heat around medium so the pasta will cook a little more in the oils that the onions and garlic were sitting in. I do this because I like having my pasta to be a little crispier than just cooked, as if they were baked. Now it's time to sprinkle some Parmesan cheese on it. Take a hefty handful and give it a nice good layer, and then stir the pasta around and get the cheese all throughout. And then you're just going to put the pasta into a bowl of your choosing and you're done. And this is the finished product. If you wanted to add shrimp or chicken to this, you could. Sometimes I do add shrimp in with the onions and the garlic and let it cook up there, but this time I chose not to. This one took around 30 minutes to make, so it's not that short, but it is very good. That was my what I eat in a day video. I actually have these 3 meals pretty regularly through the week. Like, I won't say I have them every single day, but they are a staple in my weekly diet. I really hope you guys try some of these recipes out. Tell me how you like them. Let me know, especially with the salad, let me know if you do anything different. I'd love to see what you put in that kind of a 7-layer salad, what you might like. And yeah, just to recap, the breakfast sandwich probably takes me around 10, maybe 15 minutes in the morning, not any more than that. So I like to do it when I have maybe a little bit more time than just a bowl of cereal in the morning. The salad takes around a half hour because you have to wait for the eggs to boil for around 15 minutes, probably 20 by the time the water boils, so it's a little longer. But then, like I said, once you have the salad made, it's there and you just eat it like that, like whenever you have it in the fridge. And the pasta probably also takes around between 20 and 30 minutes. It mostly depends on how long it takes for your pasta to cook, because the onions and stuff themselves doesn't take very long for them to get to that brown color. It just mostly depends on your pasta and how cooked you want it to be. So yeah, that was that video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to let me know your thoughts down below and like this video, and be sure to subscribe for more videos. I'm probably going to be doing some college themed videos soon because I'm going back to college, so yeah, stay tuned for that. See you guys. Bye.